In this video, we'll learn to solve equations involving parentheses. Our first step in solving for x in this example is going to be to get rid of the parentheses by distributing. We'll start by distributing the -2 to each of the terms inside the parentheses. On the left-hand side, that's going to leave us with 4x, and then we have -2 times 6, so that'll be minus 12x. And then we have -2 times 6, which will give us -12. And that's equal to 20. Now we'll combine any like terms. So on the left we have 4x minus 12x. That's going to give us -8x minus 12 is equal to 20. Now this becomes a two-step equation. We want to get the x term by itself, so we'll add 12 to both sides. On the left-hand side, that's going to leave us with -8x. And on the right-hand side, we'll have 20 plus 12, which is 32. Now we can divide both sides by -8 to get x by itself, leaving us with x on the left-hand side. And on the right, we'll have a negative number because this is a positive divided by a negative. And then 32 over 8 is 4. So x equals -4. In this example, we're supposed to solve for w. We see parentheses showing up on the left-hand side of the equation, and we also see that there's a fraction in front of each set of parentheses. We have a couple of choices here. We could just distribute those fractions and move along our merry way. However, distributing the fractions is going to cause us to have fractions throughout most of the problem. There is a way to get rid of those fractions right up front, and that's to find their least common denominator and multiply the entire equation by that. Well, we have 6 and 2. 6 is equal to 2 times 3, and then 2 is just 2. That's its prime factorization. So the least common denominator between those two is going to be 2 times 3 because both of those factors are showing up, and the highest power on each is 1, and so our least common denominator is going to be 6. So I'm going to go through and multiply everything in this equation by 6. So I'll have 6 times -1/6 w minus 18 in parentheses plus 1/2 w plus 2 in parentheses equals, and then I'll have 6 times w minus 8. Now I can distribute the 6 on the left-hand side. It'll multiply by each of the coefficients. That's going to give me, let's see, 6 times -1/6 is going to be -1 times w minus 18, plus 6 times 1/2 is 3 times w plus 2 equals, and now I'll distribute on the right-hand side, so that'll give me 6w minus 48. Now let's distribute on the left-hand side. We'll distribute the -1 to both terms of this set of parentheses and the 3 to both terms of the second set of parentheses. That leaves us with -w plus 18 plus 3w plus 6 equals 6w minus 48. Now we'll combine any like terms on the left-hand side. I have -w plus 3w. That's going to give me 2w. And then we have 18 plus 6. That'll give us 24. And that should be equal to 6w minus 48. Now I need to get any terms involving the variable on the same side, so I'll move them all to the left here. I'll subtract 6w from both sides. And on the left, that leaves me with -4w plus 24 is equal to -48. Now to get the w term by itself, I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. That'll leave me with -4w is equal to -48 minus 24, which gives us -72. Finally, I can divide both sides by -4. A negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive, so I'm going to get positive 72 over 4, which is 18. Let's check for understanding. Work this one out on your own, and then come back and check your answer. Here we have 6 times x plus 5 equals 8 times x minus 3. Our first step is to distribute on both sides. The 6 will multiply by both the terms inside the parentheses on the left, and the 8 will multiply by both the terms in the parentheses on the right. That leaves us with 6x plus 30 is equal to 8x minus 24. Now we need to move all the variables to one side and all the numbers not involving variables to the other. So here we have 8x that we're going to move to the left by subtracting it from both sides. And so we get 6x minus 8x is going to give us negative 2x plus 30 is equal to negative 24. Now we want to get the x term by itself, so we'll subtract 30 from both sides. And that gives us negative 2x is equal to negative 54. So now we can divide both sides by negative 2. And then x is equal to negative 54 over negative 2, which is the same as 54 over 2, which is 27.